Historic Super Tuesday as Donald Trump picks up the bulk of primary states, further cementing his front-runner status for now. But does that guarantee a Trump nomination? And what does the GOP have to say about that? They seem kind of upset.
Well, joining us now for his reaction is the 2012 presidential candidate and Fox News contributor, Mr. Herman Cain. Good morning to you, Mr. Cain.
Good morning, Ainsley and Brian.
Good to see you. Thank you. All right, from the state of Georgia, I'm from South Carolina. I really thought that, traditionally, those southern states, they get the evangelical vote, and that would be Ted Cruz. But Donald Trump won in your state. Why do you think that is?
Because evangelicals or people of faith, they want the same thing that everybody else wants. They want a strong economy, and they want a strong military, and they want a leader, a fighter, and a winner. That's why he won the state of Georgia as well as some of these other states. They want the same thing. They are not single-issue voters, which is the mistake that a lot of the pollsters make.
So Virginia was close. Georgia wasn't. It was a runaway for Donald Trump, who did a lot of campaigning there already. He was looking ahead. And one of the comments from David Axelrod really stuck out. He essentially indicated he thinks Georgia voters are dumb, saying this: Georgia has more of a downscale vote. Is that a correct characterization?
No, it's not a correct characterization. I mean, David Axelrod represents a party that's trying to elect a liar and somebody that people can't trust. So I don't think he's in a position to be throwing stones at Georgia voters or any other voters. And here's the other thing about it. They haven't, meaning the Democrats, haven't been able to stop Trump with all of their attacks, so now they are attacking the people who support Trump. They are desperate to try and slow down his momentum, but all of those kind of characterizations, I don't think that they're going to work.
What happens in those southern states going forward, in the states that are left, for Ted Cruz and for Marco Rubio, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think Marco Rubio is in a little bit of trouble because based upon the latest poll in Florida, Donald Trump is beating Marco Rubio. It's going to take quite an effort to be able to turn it around, because just like Ted Cruz needed to win Texas, which he did, Marco Rubio needs to win Florida. If you believe the trends based upon the polls, Marco Rubio is going to have an uphill battle to win Florida, and I think that's going to essentially take him, further and further out of the race.
Herman, I'm sure I watched like you watched. Donald Trump seemed to pivot to the middle and speak like in the general. He seemed to moderate his message yesterday. A few shots at Marco Rubio saying, yeah, he's a lightweight, but for the most part, Ted's worked hard. Congratulations to him. Sounded like somebody looking to unify the party a little bit. However, this day started with Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan essentially doing a shot across the bow of Donald Trump. How do you feel about the establishment getting into almost a panic about the Trump run?
Well, I'm probably not going to get invited to many establishment gatherings because my message to them is quite simply, get over it. I mean, Donald Trump I think he made some very good comments last night during his acceptance speech of when he was basically talking. The establishment needs to get over it. Secondly, Donald Trump, he did disavow some of the things about David Duke and the KKK, but they didn't report that. They wanted to only focus on he didn't use exactly the same words. So I believe that the establishment needs to get over it and just allow the people to speak. And so far, 285 delegates, that's not a fluke. Get over it, establishment.
Mr. Cain, you've got the convention coming up at the end of July. Many of these establishment Republicans that you're talking about, they're calling for a broker convention. Do you think that's going to happen?
It's a possibility that it could happen. But if it happens because they've tried to sabotage the current leader, then that would not be good for the Republican Party. What the establishment Republicans are threatening to do I believe would devastate the Republican Party. Here's one thing that they are not focusing on. Donald Trump pointed it out last night. The party is growing. More and more people are coming to the Republican Party. That is a good thing. Brian, you talked earlier about turnout was up 50% in some of the states. It was up a large amount in Georgia and Virginia and a lot of other states. The party is expanding. They ought to be celebrating what Donald Trump is doing for the Republican Party at this particular point. But instead, they're pushing back.
But in reality, he does have a lot of ground to make up with millennials and with minorities. Correct or not, the stats don't lie about that, and you know that well. Herman Cain, thanks so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Happy to do it. Thank you.